All right, guys, sorry I couldn't be there today. This worksheet you guys should be working on after you've done your other project, okay? So check out that video before you start. But today we're going to talk about scatterplots. This worksheet's due tomorrow, okay? So it'll help you for your project here. Scatterplot is basically just like a graph, except we're going to use boxes instead of dots, okay? Remember, a scatterplot is used to determine a relationship, whether or not it is approximately linear. And we want to talk about the fact that if there is a positive correlation, negative correlation, or no correlation. So as you increase x, does y also increase? Does it decrease? Or is there really no change? Okay, so how do we do a scatter plot? Is just like you do any other graph. Okay, first we're going to identify the independent and dependent variables here. Okay, once we have that, we're going to label our axes. We're then going to make sure we pick a scale that's appropriate. Okay, so 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, whatever you want to count by, just be consistent. Try to figure out what the highest and lowest numbers are, and then what would be a good scale to count by. So for example, if the numbers go from 0 to 10, I'm not going to count by tens because my data is going to fit like in a very small section. So just make sure it's appropriate for the numbers you got. If we skip numbers, let's say we start at 50 and we go up from there, remember we're going to use that little break. Okay, so on my axis here, that's that little lightning bolt that we've talked about before. We're going to use a box instead of a point, and we're going to use our calculator to help come up with this. And we'll also talk about how to do the line of best fit, which is also known as the linear regression. Okay, so on the Nspire, we're going to go ahead and work at this little chart down here for ourselves. So we're going to do just like every other statistics question we've done. Okay, we're going to start with a new document, and we're going to open up a list and spreadsheet. Okay, we're going to title our independent variable as A. So I have hours spent studying and average test score. So obviously the hours is independent and the score is dependent on the number of hours we study. So we're going to put hours down for the first one and score down for the second column here. And then we're going to put our data in. So 0.5, we have 1, 1.5, 2, and then 2.5. All right. And then we have 58, 78, 80, 85, and we're up to a 92. Okay, so to do the scatter plot, what we're going to do next is we're going to open up. I just want to follow the directions so you can see where I'm pointing to here. Okay, so the line of best fit. From home, choose data and statistics. Okay, yeah, so this is exactly where we're going. So right here. So we're going to open up my paper. I'm going to get a control doc or go to the home screen. It's up to you. Okay, and I'm going to add a data and statistics page. Now this is just like before when we did our hours and we got the dot plot. Okay, and then we could change our plots here. We want to choose our two variables. So we said the hours was independent, and now on the y-axis over here, we're going to choose score. All right, and here is essentially the histogram, or the scatter plot here. Okay, now the nice thing is this kind of already gives us a scale that we could use for an example. Okay, on ours, but this is where the graph it kind of looks like, and you can see that these points here are almost forming pretty close to a straight line. So this is, and they're tending to increase, so it is a positive slope. Okay, and all these points are close to being in a straight line, so it would be a strong positive correlation. Now we can actually generate that. You guys remember we go to a calculator page, not a graph page, not a graph page. Get rid of that. Okay, control up to see all these, and then we can delete you, select, cool, control, page, calculator, awesome. Okay, and then we're going to go menu, statistics, stat calculations, and we're going to choose linear regression. Our x variable was hours, y variable was score, and then we're going to hit OK, And you can see, look at my R value is 0.93. That is a strong positive correlation, very close to 1. And our equation is y equals 15x plus 56.1. Okay, so what we're going to do is make our scatter plot. So we need to know what we want to count by. Now I can see that my lowest value on the x-axis, I'm essentially counting by 0.5s. So the question is, do I want to count every one of these a 0.5, or maybe I want to skip a line? So maybe this is 0.5, this is 1, right? 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. So I'm kind of counting by 0.25s in a way, but I'm just skipping a line. And so it's totally up to you what you want to do. I'm going to leave it like this. I think I'd like to have a little bit more room for mine. And since I'm not counting by just ones, okay, I am filling in the scale. All right, the next one is where you have to start really at 58 and I go to 92. So maybe I can count by 5s, but I don't want to start at 50, like I don't want to start by 0. So I think the first one is going to be at 55, and then 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, and then 95. All right, and because I'm skipping numbers, we need a break on the y-axis there, okay? We also want to label a couple things for ourselves here. All right, we want to make sure we're labeling what each axis is. So this is my hours, and this is my score. All right, and I could also label the entire thing with test scores. All right, and then I'm going to put my histogram down. I'm going to fill in my circles. So 0.5, and then I'm at 58. So just below 60, and I'm going to make a box. 178, below 80. Okay, we're going to go 1.5, and then at 80. Well, that is not 1.5, 1.5. All right, 2 and 85. And then 2.5, and all the way up to 92. All right, now to get the line of best fit to appear, we're going to go back to our scatter plot. We're going to press Menu, and we're going to go to Analyze, and we can see it says Regression. And we want to click Show Linear. And so it gives us our equation, and it also generates the line. Now what I'm going to do is look to see about what points, where is the line crossing through so I can graph it. So I can see it's just below this third dot and kind of cutting through the fourth one. So I can take my ruler here. We're going to try this. It's never usually that great. Take my ruler here. All right, and we can see it's about there. It should go through about 56.1. So it should be a little bit steeper. And there is approximately where my line would go. All right, and I might actually put it a little bit lower, maybe. There we go. And there's my line. Okay, so we're just kind of using these dots that are there to kind of generate it. We put an arrowhead on it and our equation. And there you go, there's your scatter plot. Okay, if you guys go to the next one, we get the same thing here. So go ahead and enter your data in. I'm going to do mine real quick and we'll compare in a second. Okay, so we entered in step and speed. We have these lovely values entered in here. Okay, so if we want to generate the scatter plot, we're going to go Control and then Insert Document. We're going to go to Data and Statistics. We're going to choose our axes. So the first one is speed. Depending on how fast you're running, that's how big your step is. There is our values, and you can see they're close to a straight line and they're all increasing, so this would be a strong positive correlation. We can always check that by inserting a calculator page and running a quick linear regression. So speed, step, and you can see 0.98, very close to 1. Here's our slope, there's our y-intercept, okay? And that's pretty much about it. On the scatter plot here, we can hit menu, we can go to analyze, and we can choose regression, and we can go to show linear, and there's our equation again. All right, so we want to choose for this one, and have you guys finish this on your own. I want you to come up with an appropriate scale. Remember, you can always look at this and see what they're counting by here, okay, if you need to, and see if you guys can conduct a scatter plot, fill in the line of best fit, okay, and then what type of correlation is provided. So remember, we talked about it: strong positive, strong negative, weak positive, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, have a great weekend, or have a great, well, Thursday. I'll see you guys on Friday.